What's going on, everybody? It's Aurora coming at you with a brand new video, and our Lord and Saviors over at Konami Japan were kind enough to grace me with free content on this night, which is good because I didn't really have much planned for December, to be fair. And it looks like in the midst of all the random Arc 5 support, like with the DDDs and the Odd Isaac C's, we're actually getting a wave of Superheavy Samurai support, which, as a heads up right now, I know like the bare minimum about this deck. I know they attack and defense, I know that they equip things, they have like one or two things that steal the opponent's monsters for synchro summoning, they can't use spells and traps, and they got shot like 87 times in the chest when Sekka's Light got limited, so I don't really know much that I can talk about for this deck, at least in terms of like what they need or what they want. I have no idea about that, but I can at least bring you guys the information as to what it does for those of you that don't see it on other sources. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get right into this. This is Cyberstorm Access, by the way, and it says Superheavy Samurai returns for revenge. We're on the organization, as always, or you need more than 2 pendulums to make a deck consistently use pendulum. So starting off, we have Superheavy Samurai Bike. I see it went the Pokemon route. Level 2 Earth Machine Tuner with 800 attack and 1200 defense. I mean, level 2, you can probably make some use with Sprite. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If you have no spells or traps in your grave, you can discard this card to add a Superheavy Samurai monster from your deck to your hand, except Bike. And once per turn, you can target a machine you control that has a level, increase its level by 2. I don't know about the level modulation. It probably has like some like application for the synchro plays and everything. But I think it's really good to just have a free discard to add any Superheavy Samurai monster from deck. I mean, because like the no spells and traps in grave, you're not going to have spells and traps in your grave in the first place, so I think this is pretty good. You guys are going to have to tell me down in the comments, because I have like no idea. But I would assume just a free search is like pretty damn good. Next up, we have Superheavy Samurai Spy, as long as it's not Spy Roll, is a level 1 Earth Machine with 200 attack and 700 defense. You can only special summon this card with the first effect of its name once per turn, and you can only use the second effect once per turn. If you have no spells or traps in your grave, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you have no spells and traps in your grave, quick effect, you can tribute this card, then target one spell or trap in your opponent's grave, set it to your field, but banish it when it leaves the field. Ooh. That sounds really spicy. So special summoning condition aside, like obviously that's really good. Taking your opponent's back row from their graveyard could be huge in theory, because not only are you taking like maybe a power card, something like well, actually, yeah, you can Lightning Storm. You can like special this, tribute, get the Lightning Storm, and then activate the Lightning Storm without doing anything else. But like ignoring the power cards that you can use with this, you can also take an archetype specific back row piece, because like there's a lot of archetypal back rows that either want to be engraved to be fetched later, or that want to be engraved so they can banish later. For example, like Virtual World Qinglong. You can just tribute this and steal it, and then not only is it like not in the graveyard, but once it leaves, it's banished, and so they're not going to be able to get a good use out of it. So I really like this effect. I think that's very solid. Next up, we have Superheavy Samurai Soul Gaia Booster. All right, so I believe this is a equip one because the soul ones are usually equips. I like the armor face. That's hilarious. It's a level 4 Earth Machine with 0 attack and defense. It says you can only use its second effect once per turn. You can target one Superheavy Samurai monster you control, equip this card from your hand, or if you don't do it, it is treated as a tuner. Okay, I was right, it isn't equipped. And if you have no spells or traps in your grave while this card is equipped to a monster by its own effect, you can special summon this card. I mean, this is just kind of a free body, is it not? You just normal summon something, activate this, equip, special, get a free synchro. I mean, what's not to love? Next up, we have a pendulum. This is Superheavy Samurai Prodigy Wakashi. Looks like they got 2 new pendulums. So we actually have a total of 4 pendulums, I think, for Superheavy Samurai. That's awesome. So it is a level 4 Dark Machine Pendulum Turner. Yeah, it's supposed to say tuner. Effect monster, 1100 attack and 1500 defense. It is scale 8. Its pendulum effect is that you can only use its name, each pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. If you have no spells or traps in your grave, you can place a Superheavy Samurai Pen from your deck into your pendulum zone, except another copy of itself, then special summon this card. And its monster effect says you can only use each of its effects once per turn. If you have no spells or traps in your grave, you can discard one monster, special summon one Superheavy Samurai monster from your hand or deck in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Superheavy Samurai monsters. If this card is as synchro material, if this card used as synchro material is added to the extra deck face up, you can place it in your pendulum zone. I mean, everything about this card just seems really good, right? Yeah, the pendulum effect seems really good. Just by having no spells and traps in your grave, you can place a Superheavy Samurai Pen from your deck in the zone and then special this for free. I mean, like, that's just kind of an instant General Coral, or what was the other one? General Jade. Even though I think Coral overall is probably better, because it just gives you an extra attack, but we haven't seen the other pendulum yet. And then the monster effects are also really good. I mean, for discard to summon any Super Heavy Samurai from hand or deck, you can just place it back in your Pendulum Zone, and then you can reuse the Pendulum effect later. I really like this. It is a dark, so I don't know if that has like any accidental mess up synergy with the deck, but I still think it's really good. And their last main deck monster is Super Heavy Samurai Monk Warrior Big Ben K. It is a level 7 Earth Machine Pendulum with 1000 attack and 3500 defense. It is a scale 1. You can only use the Pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. If you control a Super Heavy Samurai monster, you can add 1 Super Heavy Samurai Soul monster from your deck to your hand. And for the monster effect, you can only use each of its monster effects once per turn. If you have no spells or traps in your grave, you can send 1 Super Heavy Samurai Big Ben K from your hand or deck to the grave, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is used as Synchro material and added to the extra deck face up, you can place it in your Pendulum Zone. So this looks like another really good piece of support in my opinion. I mean, you get to add your Super Heavy Samurai Souls from your deck, which on top of the other Monster Searcher makes it really consistent. I'm pretty sure the Souls are like really good, right? Plus, you can special it for free and get it on your board. It is level 7, so I'm pretty sure the levels end up being really good. Also, it's a 3500 defense monster, and so Big Ben K on board is going to be really strong for this. Plus, I'm pretty sure having Big Ben K in grave is probably a good thing, so I don't know. But like having a Magician Souls is pretty cool. So that's it for the main deck. On to the extra deck, or at least the main deck I can't say main deck monsters, they don't have any back row, but you have Super Heavy Samurai Tenjin Maserao. I don't know how to pronounce that, honestly. It is their first synchro of this wave. It is, I'm pretty sure, supposed to look like the guy that uses them in the anime. That's funny. It's a level 12 Earth Machine synchro with 2000 attack and 4000 defense. It requires 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters, sorry. This card can attack while in face-up defense position, and if it does, apply its defense for damage calculation. If a Super Heavy Samurai monster you control be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy a Super Heavy Samurai card you control instead. And once per turn, if your opponent activates a spell or trap effect, you can draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. So, huge body, especially being able to attack while in defense. Also, the protection seems to be very nice. I'm pretty sure it's kind of like a reverse 6 Samurai, where like you're destroying like you're protecting everything else instead of just it. And then I think that third effect is actually kind of unique. I mean, it's not, I thought it was going to say if your opponent activates a spell or trap, you can negate or whatever, but I think this is pretty cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure with all the equip guys, you're going to be getting a lot of dudes out of your hand, and so your hand's probably going to be thinned out a little bit. So being able to just draw until you have 3 for free is really good. Not to mention, it seems to be a soft once per turn, as in if you have multiple copies or like this dies and you revive it or something somehow, you can use it again, which I don't know how you're going to get the cards back out of your hand unless your opponent Silvas you, but you can just get free cards again, so I think that's really interesting. I think this is a very cool boss monster overall. So their final card of this wave is another Synchro monster. It is a Pendulum Synchro monster, Super Heavy Samurai General Shanao, probably Shanao. I'm so sorry to anyone that actually like knows how to pronounce these, and you're probably like cringing in your seats. I apologize. But it is a level 8 Dark Machine Synchro Pendulum with 2000 attack and 2500 defense. It is a scale 1. You can only use its Pendulum effect once per turn. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card. Then, if you have no spells or traps in your grave, change that monster's attack to 0. Also, its effects are negated. It requires 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuners. It can attack while in face-up defense and applies its defense for damage calculation. And once per turn during the battle phase, if you control this Synchro Summon card, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Super Heavy Samurai monster card from your graveyard or face-up spell and trap zone. Then place this card in your Pendulum Zone. I don't think this is as good as Masurao, whatever his name is. I mean, the Pendulum effect seems really cool, but you gotta think that when your opponent's monster is attacking, right, you're gonna special summon this when you use this effect. Therefore, putting its attack to 0 and negating its effects aren't going to matter because your opponent can just redeclare and choose not to attack. I mean, it's a free imperm, like it looks like a permanent imperm and a 0 attack thing, but they can just probably bait it or something like that, or probably just out this card before that even happens. Its stats aren't too crazy, even the defense for the damage calculation stuff. And then, I mean, waiting until the battle phase is like, I mean, I don't know. Because, I mean, you can summon any Super Heavy Samurai from your grave or face-up back row, so you can probably just summon back like a Masurao, or literally any of your other really big ones, especially a Big Ben K that you dump off the big Pendulum monster. But you have to put this card back in your Pendulum Zone, so you'd probably have to like swing with this and then put it in your pen zone to special something back. It can probably help with OTKs a little bit, but I just think Masurao is just better. But with that out of the way, it looks like that is it for this wave of Super Heavy Samurai support. So, on the topic of what I think about this, I mean, I don't really know as much about the deck as I probably should in order to be, like, discussing this. But, for basic stuff, I mean, Superheavy Samurai Bike just seems really good. I mean, ignoring the level modulation, just discarding to add any Superheavy Samurai to replace it in hand, that's pretty fire, especially when you combine it with something like the Monk Big Benkei that can special itself from hand. Spy is really funny because not only is it a free body, but can also just steal an opponent's back row from grave. That can be huge. Soul Gaia booster seems to be an amazing way to get free synchros out. Prodigy, Wakaushi, I'm just gonna call it Prodigy. Prodigy gets you a free thing from deck while also getting itself on the board, and it's a level 4 tuner, by the way. Keep in mind, it also allows you to get like a 1-card synchro or 1.5 card synchro, because you can put this in your scale, special it, put something else in your scale, effect discard a monster, special a Superheavy Samurai from hand or deck, literally any one that you want, which could advance your plays further, I'm pretty sure, with the old stuff, or I'm certain at least. And then it just goes back to the Pendulum Zone if it would be sent to the extra deck. I mean, you can just use this indefinitely, that's fire. Monk Warrior Big Benkei is a really good, searcher here in the pen scale. It also allows itself to be a Magician Souls. It also puts itself back in the scale for some more searching for later. Masura O is a really interesting boss monster compared to like the typical negate, towers, big bungus. I mean, he is a big bungus, but he actually does some unique things by allowing you to draw free cards, which can really help you in a resource game, even if it does rely on your opponent activating a spell or trap. I also like the protection that he has, and also being able to attack in defense while he has 4k defense is hilarious. Baguska, eat your heart out. And then Shana O, while I think it is a little bit weaker than Masura O, I feel like it definitely does have its applications, especially when going, not going first, but when going into the battle phase and going for OTKs, sorry. But I don't know, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments below. You probably know a lot more than me, because that's going to do it for the video. If you liked it, please sure to leave a like, as I'll put this video and the channel into YouTube recommended. And if you like this content, you want to see more like it, like the rest of my reviews, I try to review every single wave of support that comes out for an archetype, or every new archetype, as long as it is 2 or more cards. Then perhaps consider subscribing, because we're very, very close to 2,500 subscribers by the end of 2022, which is approaching in like a little less than a month now. But once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Aurora, signing off.